What's good, family, and welcome to Enjoy the Journey. I am your host, Devontae Lamont, and today I have with me Joshua Crump from J.Crump Productions, who executes any visual from tasks, from commercials to podcasts to weddings and advertisements. I am excited to have him here and talk about his journey. What's
What's
good,
going on,
Mr.
Devontae? How
Crump?
you doing? How you doing?
How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Okay, for some reason I thought that, I'm sorry. How
Oh,
are
okay.
you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me on this platform. I'm excited. When you reached out, I was like, man, this is big time. So I'm glad that for your consideration.
I'm happy for you to be here. One thing that Enjoy the Journey is about is reaching to creatives and reaching to the community and encouraging them on their journey. So when I found you on social media and I saw what you were doing, I was like, oh my God, we have to have him here. So a little bit about you. So you went to Georgia Southern University.
Yes.
And you had an interest in photography. Tell me all about your journey with GSU and how you first got started.
So Georgia Southern alumni, graduated 2018, got my degree in journalism. So when you were back then, journalism, we would have to write stories, right? Took time to write, cover people downtown, and you would submit your stories, and everything was written. As the years went on and progressed, journalism became multimedia journalism, right? So you had to start working with the camera. Back in those days, if you had a news story, say you like Fox 5 or something, you had a camera crew that would go out to, right? So you had the videographer, you had the woman or man in front of the camera doing the interview, speaking, then you have your auto person. Then it became you doing all that yourself. So I took a camera home. The first day I ever took photos, we were doing Georgia Southern University things. We had a Twister night. Playing Twister, and everybody in the neighborhood was playing Twister.
Is that the game where?
You have and you put your hands on it's like red, the circles.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I just took my camera off campus and took pictures, and something just stuck with me as far as capturing the moment.
Wow.
Didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I'm holding it down, pressing the autofocus, just hoping that something comes out. And everybody was like, man, these are good. I'm like, I didn't know what I was doing, but I loved capturing the moment.
Wow.
And from there, that was it. That was my passion.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's amazing. So even before that, so let's go even before you were at GSU, did you have a particular, let's say, you know how when we're kids, it's like, when I grow up, I want to be a police officer. I want to be, what did you actually like at that young age? What was your vision of becoming then?
At my young age, I wanted to be a sports commentator. I was always been big on sports, basketball, football. Growing up 7, 8 in the morning, turning on my TV when I'm not supposed to, watching First Take and First and 10 and all these shows before going to school. So that's what I wanted to do, to be, and that's how I started with the journalism track, because I looked up what the Stephen A. Smiths of the world were doing, the Michael Wilbons, and what their background was as beat writers for different sports teams in respective cities, and most of them had journalism degrees. So that's when I went and got a journalism degree.
Wow, that is powerful. So in the world of photography, I remember you said you were going through photography. Did you actually start a practice then, or was it just an interest at that point?
It was an interest, and I started just learning to master the craft, what my settings on my camera actually meant, and how to shoot at night or in dark settings compared to outside in bright sunlight and using natural light. And it grew from doing photography to people asking me around the time of the pandemic, yo, can you shoot this video? Can you shoot this video? And then the video aspect just came.
Wow.
I wasn't even doing videography at first. I was only taking photos. I wouldn't even take a video.
Wow.
And then it came, and I said, well, you know what, if I might as well be a one-stop shop, be well-rounded,
That's so good. So you're here in Atlanta. So was it hard for you to find your niche as a creative and an entrepreneur? Because Atlanta is one of those places where there is such a large community of creatives and productions and production companies. Was it hard for you to find your niche in a city like Atlanta?
It was. I think I started just trying to do what everybody else was doing. I worked for online magazines and had an internship with Rolling Out and had internships with other companies, and it just didn't pan out. I did nightlife for a while, doing event photography and videography. And what you find is that, like you said, it's such a big market of people that to find your niche, the niche that I was in was almost oversaturated.
Wow.
Because so many of us are willing to settle for a lesser price that they don't see value in the product. So I had to switch
So good.
from that. I was doing music videos and I was like, I'm done with the artist. I can't, it's just
They're
too
a lot
much.
now.
It's a lot.
Coming from artists,
Y'all
that could be a lot.
y'all artists are a lot. So a lot to deal with. But I was doing so much. I'm getting the model for the video. I'm doing 4 or 5 locations and I still can't get the rest of the deposit.
Yeah.
So I had to do a shift in my business. And I prayed, I said, God, like, I'm trying to market myself towards people that see the value in the business.
Wow.
Because then you don't have to settle because they understand, okay, you know what? He's an artist. I love his brand. I love his music. I want it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost you to come do this conference? How much is it going to cost you to come do this performance in this show? And around 2023, I prayed. I said, okay, God, I don't want to do no more music videos. I just want a serious project that can be on my resume, that can get my business seen in a more professional light.
Wow.
And fast forward, and we'll get into that everything later. But that's where we are today.
Wow. So J.Crump Productions is your production company.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about the birth of J.Crump, of where your vision for your production company came from.
So expounding on what I said earlier, starting off just photography. Then I realized, like, when people started asking me for videos and things, I said, you know what? I need to think bigger. I need to think bigger than just one photo shoot or one video shoot at a time. I want to be a one-stop shop for everything visual.
So good.
So if you need a documentary shot, we got the resources. We have the lighting, we have the videos, we have the editors, we have everything. And the beauty of it is that whoever works with me or whoever comes on, I'm never going to stop you from getting extra money. You can still go and get other projects.
Right.
But the bigger vision for me is that I can be J.Crump Productions, not just in Atlanta, but Miami, New York, California, overseas. And we can be doing multiple projects simultaneously while still delivering a high quality product.
Wow. That is so incredible. Now, I was actually watching and I was seeing you were talking about the back of the stage. Can you tell us about the back of the stage and Backstage ATL?
Okay, so the Back of the Stage is a docuseries that me and my brother Joseph Douglas started, who was the owner of Backstage Atlanta, to make a long story short. 2020, like I said that prayer. A couple months later, I used to run a brunch business also. That's a whole nother story. But a couple months later, I go into Backstage for brunch. And I'm sitting at the table, shrimp and grits. You were just some shrimp and grits. Yeah, a little shrimp and grits. And a mimosa, had a blast. And he tells me that, he has this story that he wants to tell of his family. And I'm like, well, I have a camera. Let's get started.
Yeah.
And so I think that was how I knew that was the project that I prayed for, because I didn't ask for it. I didn't go up to him and say, yo, let's shoot I didn't know anything about this man or his family. He approached me. And that's when I was like, okay, God, I think this is it. Wow. Now, did I think it would take 2 years to get to where we at now? No, but he has a funny way of working sometimes.
But what is the importance to you of timing? Because sometimes a lot of creatives, and me included, we go through these seasons where it's down or it's low, and it's easy to go into a place of depression or discouragement or anxiety. Tell me, with your journey, how are you, or is that something you had to deal with, and how were you able to overcome it?
Well, I'll be very transparent. This recent project, The Back of the Stage, it details the story of Backstage Atlanta, the history of their family, and what happens when African American families stick together no matter what trauma they go through. Over these last 2 years, I've dealt with a lot. There's great moments when you're like, everybody's like, oh my goodness, like we just had a screening. That's an amazing moment. There's also very tough moments, and I'll be transparent, where it's like, I've had breakdowns. I'm driving on 285. I said, okay, God, like, at this point, it is what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't. My laptop crashed on me. I'm like, I have Boys on the Hood on my shirt right now. I'm like Ricky and Boys on the Hood swinging in the air. I said, I can't. God, I can't take no more. Like,
you take no more of this.
Brand new MacBook, just black, just black. I said, and
Wow.
you can't, sometimes you can only laugh. Like, I'm just sitting in bed like.
I don't know if I would laugh. I would have been pissed, man of God. I would be all right now.
Monte, it didn't hit me until later. It didn't hit me until I was driving back like later that night. And it just hit me like, you don't have an editing team. So you have nothing. I was like, And that's when I was like, okay, I have to really calm myself down
That's
and stand on the word and trust God for what he said is going to happen.
mm-hmm.
You know, it's not easy
It's not.
being frustrated. It's not easy having delays in projects. And you know, you're an artist. You know, when you have stuff you wanted to come out and it's not out, and you like
Mm.
people asking for it.
Yep.
Well, is it going to come? Man, it's not going to come out. And you hear the voices, and you hear the naysayers, and you hear these things. Man, it's not. You just in there just wasting time. Ain't nothing going to come out, and it's very frustrating. And you have to really encourage yourself. You know, Donald Lawrence has to encourage yourself
Love that.
in the Lord, right?
Yeah.
So that is, you really have to encourage yourself sometimes and tell yourself, I'm going to get through. Like, we're going to do this. It's not easy, especially when you ask for a bigger platform, a bigger project, and now God says, okay, well, this is also what comes with that. It's not just the glitz and the glamour. This is, you're going to get your character tested. You're going to be battle tested. We're going to see if you're really disciplined. We're going to see if you're really ready to promote, to market. You know, are you even, and you just made a point about timing. I realized that as much as I wanted things to happen sooner, I wasn't the man that I needed to be for it to come out yet.
Wow.
So that was me like understanding, okay, I need to reach another level of maturity in myself as a man in Christ before he can give this to me and give me a blessing. And then I just fumble the bag and then forget the source of where the blessing even came from.
That's so powerful because everything that you just said is why we're sitting here. Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
And you have had a journey. How would you say that all of those things that you said that you've been through and overcame, how has it made you who you are today? And what has it taught you? Like, how did it make you who you are? And what has it taught you, the journey?
The journey has taught me that you cannot do it without God.
Yeah, wow.
It's just not gonna work.
So
It's
good.
just not gonna work. It's also made me a stronger person, a stronger man. I am more disciplined. I'm more faith driven. I'm also wiser. I mean, you know, not even talking spiritually, just like, you know, more.
Yeah.
You have to, you want to be in business, you want to do,
knowledge.
you know, you're artist, you need to learn the business. You have to really, and that's where I'm at now. It's like, okay, we really have to learn these things, learn the business. So it forces you to, somebody said one time in a study, he said, you know, guard the heart, guard the blessing. And that comes with understanding what comes with it so that you have discernment over who comes around, who's just here to take advantage of the time that you're in, who really wants to see you win.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, it's just made me just better on all aspects.
I love what you said, how our learning process is a forever journey. And I feel like we're always learning. I'm one of those people, I want to stay curious because I want knowledge. I just want to learn. What is it about learning that excites you?
I feel like, especially as a creative, a videographer specifically, I never think I know it all. I'm never cocky enough to feel like there's not someone else that has already been doing it longer than me, that has either better equipment or more knowledge or more resources. I'm the first. You can ask anybody. I'm quick to, hey, can I shadow? Can I come in? Can I just want to see how you work? You know, I think that's a lost art of what we're doing. You know, so many of us are like, I made it. Collaborate. You know, Issa Rae talked about in an interview, networking across, right? Finding people who are on, you know, in the same fields as you, doing things, and say, hey, look, I need help.
Yeah.
I need help.
So good.
And that's it for me, reaching out.
Wow. So with J.Crump Productions, what are some things that you desire to do? Like you're doing so many great things now, but what does the future of J.Crump Productions look like?
I really want to get to the point where I do a real short film movie as well. The bigger thing, and I've realized that now with the back of the stage in this product, specifically telling the story of an African American family, I want to tell our stories.
So good.
I feel like, and side note, the docuseries that we're doing right now is raw and unscripted. So there's nothing fake about it. Everything you see is real. Every response is real. Every answer. And I feel that that's where I want to be. I want to tell our stories of our people in a raw way, integrity way as well. Like, not, it doesn't need to be Ghetto doesn't need to be
Yeah.
nonsense for it to get
Yeah.
picked up or for people to enjoy the product.
Yeah.
I realize that there's a lot of us in the community that are doing big things,
Mhm.
but that we just don't have a spotlight.
Yeah.
Hulu may not be looking or Netflix may not be looking, but we know.
We know.
We
Yeah.
know
amongst
who's in the
us.
community. We know who's around doing these things,
Yeah.
and whether it's in politics, whether it's in education,
Yeah.
entertainment, media,
Yeah.
artists. We know who's in
But
the
that's
community.
why, like you were saying, we are stronger together.
Mhm.
Because you may have a gift that I don't have. Like when we talk about the body, you may be the finger, I may be the leg. Dre Manning may be the shoulder, but all of it works together to move the body. So I feel like when we all, utilize our gifts and come together, there's no telling where the Black community could be if we brought our resources together, if we brought our gifts together. I thought it was so powerful, the blackout that we just did. And I was seeing I was watching the what do you call it, the stock market, and they were posting like the numbers on how some of the major retailers have gone down from just us coming together for that one day blackout event. So imagine if we came together in every aspect, in our gifts, in our time, and so I love that. You have such a spirit of humility. Where did that come from?
I think that came from my parents. I watched them serve their whole life. Whether it's my mother in the choir, my dad being a passive evangelism. When you serve in ministry, you are forced to be humble. You have no choice because it's not about you.
It's not about you.
Especially when you talk about ministry in the church, there are people that here are really dealing with real issues, and so you have to put whatever you're going through on this Sunday aside because this woman needs prayer, or this man needs prayer, or this person needs deliverance from this. And I watched that growing up. I watched them, 8 a.m. service, 11:30, 11 a.m. service, and we not getting out of there. I'm a kid at this point, I don't have no car. It's 11 years old. I'm like, man, can we? It's
You was a
4
church
o'clock.
boy. You
It's
was in
4
there.
o'clock. A PK.
You a PK.
Born and raised.
So you was living in and out the church.
Man, come on now. We had every function.
What about through the week, Monday through Friday?
Come on now. Tuesday night, Friday night. Then we got the kids' night on Friday. Wednesday night Bible study.
Jesus.
Deacon meeting.
My God.
We everywhere.
They was wearing y'all out.
All right. And so that's why. But I thank God for the foundation.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But that's where the humility comes from. A lot of people don't get to see that and what it means to serve, but you're reminded all the time that it's not about you.
Yeah.
We have these platforms for a reason, to be an example, to impact other people's lives. We have an influence, You have to recognize sometimes when you have that influence gift where people are just attracted to you.
Yeah.
And you realize that, okay, well, it's not, is it just because I'm, did I get my hair cut today? Am I, you know what I'm saying? I got some new shoes on, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's also like God gives you that influence so that you can lead people the right way, or you can also, lead people the wrong way. But it's all about how you recognizing that spirit of influence that you have and leading people in a positive way.
Wow. I love that because I love what you said about serving, because I feel like it's such a lost art. I haven't told anybody this, so it's going to be released for the first time. I'm actually thinking about writing a book on serving because it is serving that has gotten me to where I am now. There was a major artist I was working with, and I remember he told me the reason I picked you out of anybody I could have chose is because of the way you served. And
powerful.
I always say this, Jesus, and whatever your religion is, but I'm a Christian, but Jesus, one thing I love about God, he is my greatest teacher and mentor of all. And the thing I love about Jesus is he had a crown, but he traded his crown for a towel because he wanted to wash feet. This is the Savior, the creator of the universe. That said, I'm taking my crown off and I'm going to trade that for a towel to serve people. So I believe that us as creatives and entrepreneurs, we have a duty to serve people, because ultimately, what are we and who are we without the people?
100%. You don't have no, even in sales, if there's no people, you're not making no money.
Period.
You got to sell the product to somebody.
The product to somebody. I love that. So if there was anybody that Joshua Crump could work with in the industry, who would it be?
That's a tough question. I was not, all the questions that I thought you were going to ask, I was not expecting that. Oh man. I definitely would. I would love to, obviously, Tyler Perry's one.
Yes.
Steven Spielberg, he's amazing with a lot of his films. this guy is older, but he's done so many movies that I like. I'm a big mafia person. Martin Scorsese. He's done so much stuff. Who and we just brought him up talking before we got on, but he passed away. But John Singleton, I would have loved. He has produced so many classics.
Classics.
Denzel,
Yeah.
love Denzel movies. He directs obviously himself. So, but it's just the list goes on and on. Issa Rae, let me shout out though. I don't want people to think I'm just not talking about me.
No, listen, because
It's
if
so
y'all
many.
watching, y'all need to hit this
It's
man
so
up.
so many talented women that are doing their thing in film and television right now.
Yeah.
You know, I love Abbott Elementary. I think
Abbott.
everybody does,
Love
right?
Abbott.
The satire that's in it,
Oh, yeah.
the humor, the realness
real.
of just that show. There's so many people out here doing big things.
Yeah. And J.Crump is on that list too. So they might be like, we want to work with J.Crump. Hey, man.
Hit me.
I love it. So I want to talk about one more thing. And what is something that you feel that you went through and overcame in your life that can encourage somebody else?
How much time do we have? So I'll be transparent. I really actually don't talk about these things, especially on big podcasts or anything like that. Around 2017, we talked about Georgia Southern and the lifestyle that we were living out there. I was really, it's in a whole different person.
Wow.
I was really, what I know now is depressed. I was away from family. I didn't cope well with some people in my life passing. And we're just trying to find myself.
Yeah.
I was drinking 24/7. I was just doing just wild in college. And I had fell out in 2017, like just face first, right? On marble floor. I broke my jaw in two places. You can never tell now, but I broke my jaw in two places, even on the inside, right down the middle. I remember sitting in the hospital for like 4 days and couldn't talk. I didn't talk for like 2 weeks, which we don't really think about.
Yeah.
That's why, we're on a podcast for
right.
We don't think about not talking. I didn't talk for 2 weeks, right?
How hard was that?
You know what? After like a couple of days, you like, I really ain't got nothing to say anyway.
Right.
But my face was so swollen.
Wow.
And I realized like, man, I could have almost not been here.
Yeah.
And I think overcoming the humiliation from that and really taking the time to, the guy before here was just talking about healing, right? Taking the time, to realize why I was doing those things and why I'm coping, right? Some of us drink to have fun. I was drinking back then. We was all coping with whatever we was going through. And it was like, why do I have these bad habits? Why am I not healthy? Why am I not feeling right? And reconnecting and saying, okay, you know what? We're gonna take time to heal, to figure out the root causes of these problems so that I don't repeat that same type of lifestyle, And I think we all have to do that. Even last October, a couple people, I was in a bad place. I just wasn't, delays with projects, not expressing myself. That's one area this year I'm focusing on growing in, making sure that I communicate when things are not wrong, so I don't bottle things up and get upset.
That's so good.
But I had to realize, I was like, okay, Josh, we're not about to revert back to that. So we're going to put a pause in these tracks. We're not going to film this week. We're going to figure out, why is Josh not okay? And realize, you know what? I'm not taking care of myself emotionally, spiritually, physically. I got back in the gym. I started working out. Shout out to your journey as well. Okay. I'm like, man, that's a motivator. I said, man, I got to get in the gym after the day.
150, my God.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. You went crazy. And so I realized, like, I had to get back physically, emotionally, spiritually, get back to praying, get back to in my word, cut back on just a lifestyle that, we get invited to so many events, everything just be covered. You're like, Free is my middle name, so you got me. But I had to really just take time to get myself together in order to be who I am now, so I can sit down and, like he said, be healthy and express your authenticity. You know what I'm saying? And so that is, that's the biggest thing for me. It's like when we go through these things as men, especially as black
As
men,
black men,
we
so good.
have to take the time to make sure that we're okay, because it's taught to us so many times that you don't need to do this, or you don't cry, or you don't do. Man, sometimes I gotta get it out. I gotta have this breakdown. I gotta swing like Ricky did, and get it out, so that I can be right. So that when we have a movie screening and they have me on stage, my face is right. I'm not looking right there. I can say, you know what, it was tough, but we're here, and we can be motivating for other people that want to be in these same seats one day.
That's so powerful. But I love what you said about that you're working on communicating as a black man, because I'm doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That communication is something that I've struggled with. And so I'm making sure that, in every season or every situation I'm present, even if it's something that's upsetting me or frustrating me, not bottling it in. Because I feel like men in general, we were taught to. I was talking to a friend. I was like, little girls, when they're little, they're given Barbie dolls and baby dolls, and they're being taught how to nurture. And as a young boy, we're given guns and we're given things, and we're taught to be tough and don't cry. And we don't get that same level of vulnerability. And so what I have been discovering is that my vulnerability is actually my superpower. So when I'm communicating, I'm frustrated today. I'm pissed off today. I'm frustrated, and I'm learning that even that is healing for me. And so I really think that us as black men, that we have to be very intentional about making sure that we are okay, making sure that we are going to therapy. I know that's a foreign word in the black community.
It is.
But
It's necessary, though.
It's
It's
necessary
necessary.
because your gift will only take you as far as your character will. And so if our character is not right and our spirits are not healed, then we can walk through the door, but the same way we got in, it's the same way that God can shift us back out. So I want to thank you for your vulnerability, because I believe that so many black men that watch this will be healed, will be set free, and able to walk into their creativity and to what they are called to do. So if there's one last message that you can give to our audience, if you could tell us at that camera, what would that message be?
I would say, number one, keep God first. Number two, master your craft. You can't cheat the work. You can't take shortcuts in any business, whether it's photography, whether it's music, whether it's graphic design. Master your craft. Learn what it is, find your niche, and master it, because that way you're prepared for when your moment comes. You can avoid so many hardships and challenges in business by not cheating. There's no substitute for the hard work. We have Instagram and all these things now, and TikTok, and people can blow up overnight. We're a little older now. We grew up where you had to shake hands, pass out flyers in the union to get people to come out to you. Hey, my name is Josh. Take this flyer. I need you to hear it in the union tonight, 7 o'clock. We did that, and people talking about how you know so many people. We shook 1,000 hands. You know what I'm saying, in a couple months each semester. So you can't cheat the work. There's no substitute for the hard work and the journey. And remember, as we're on this platform, enjoy the journey that you have. Take time, because when you get to the next level, sometimes you'll miss the hard work and those long nights, because you're going to deal with a whole nother level.
Wow, that was so powerful, brother. Listen, Joshua, I want to say thank you for
Thank you,
coming.
man, for having
This
me.
was powerful. This was healing. And I believe that our audience, when they watch this, they are going to be encouraged just because you were here.
Man, I appreciate
Thank
that.
you,
Thank
brother.
you.
Yo, we had another great episode here at Enjoy the Journey. Thank you for tuning in. And remember to walk out your purpose. All right. Love you.